Welcome everyone to Reset to Healthier Relationships Sunday night at 9. I am really glad you're here tonight. If you've been feeling quietly frustrated, tired of carrying more than your share, or wondering why things that once felt small now feels heavy, you're not alone. Resentment doesn't usually start loud. It builds slowly when effort feels uneven, when you're thinking ahead, holding things together, and giving more than you're receiving. And tonight isn't about blaming anyone or fixing everything in one conversation. It's about noticing what's been building inside you and giving yourself permission to be honest about it. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's talk about it together. So tonight we want to take a few deep breaths in your nose, out your mouth. Let's do it a couple of times. So let's set this mood. Let's get ready to talk about this resentment. Now, while you're taking your breaths, let's clear your mind so we can have very fresh comments and feedback. And then we're going to allow Mr. Carpenter to come in and give us a recap from last week because this is part two from last week. The topic is resentment building from unequal contributions. Resentment building from unequal contributions. All right, Mr. Carpenter.
Good evening, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Last week was really a good week. We had a excellent conversation, and this topic I thought was going to be a real easy topic to talk about, or at least it wasn't going to be that larger topic. But it turned out to be an excellent topic, and everybody got involved. Everybody weighed in and gave their input and comments, which made it even better. Last week we started out by saying, you're not asking for too much. You just notice too much is on you. You in a relationship, partnership, or whatever your relationship dynamics is, you're with another partner, and you're noticing that you're carrying too much. And when you're noticing you're carrying too much, first you don't right away and say, well, hey, look, red flag, I'm carrying too much. You try to carry the weight and responsibility of the relationship on your own back for a while. But once you get to the point where it's a little bit more than you can handle, that's when the resentment fall come in. And we talked about that on the marriage side of the house, where in a marriage, one person remembers all the dates, one person does all the running around for the house, one person does all this stuff for the children, or whatever it is. That one person does so much more than the other person. And the other person is very comfortable letting the one person do the most. And we talked about that. We talked about that in different formats. We talked about the mental part about that. We talked about the emotional part of it. And we definitely talked about the physical part of it, what all that looked like. And then we went to the single, what that looks like for single couples. Someone that not married or just dating or living cohabitating, what that looked like. And once again, we had some of the same things. Now, one of the things that came up was sometime it was a gender role. Sometime the man got a pass or get out of jail free card where he didn't have to do as much as the lady did. The lady had to take the female in a relationship had to take more of the load or the leadership in the day to day. And we talked about that. And as we went through it, I was able to see my faults when I was married because I thought I was doing all I needed to be helpful to my wife, but really I wasn't doing my share. I was going out working and stuff like that. But when I came home, I could have contributed. I could have washed the dishes, or I could have helped my wife put the kids to bed, or did other stuff. But I thought that was my time to be the king of the house. So we talked about that and we went through it, and it was really, really nice. It was a good conversation. The night we're gonna take up to where we left off at. We did everything but the last part of singles. I think we're at the part of singles where we're talking about what does it look like in physically when a single person take on too much of a relationship. What does that look like, Glenda?
All right, so when we're looking at or talking about the physical part, for single in the resentment building, you see yourself adjusting your time, your schedule, and energy more than the other party does. And resentment shows up as I'm always giving, never receiving. Why am I doing so much already? Because a lot of times, I know for women, we start strong out of the gate. So we're doing everything thinking that one day Mr. is gonna, just be so thankful and grateful and just swoop us up, and it will be that happily ever after. And it's not always like that. Or you feel drained and not excited because you've been doing everything. That's the physical part of the resentment building in your relationship. So, do anyone have any questions? Do anybody want to add any comments or feedback to the physical part of resentment building?
I guess I'll get in a little bit. I guess it who's take the lead because a lot of times if you're single, if you're single and one may be a little more adapt to dating and relationship than the other, the one that has more I guess more experience. I'll say that have more experience sometimes set the pace for the other person.
But you're saying more experience in dating per se, is that what you're saying?
More experience in dating, right? More experience in
Um,
dating and being out. Because sometimes when you're in a date, sometimes when you're in a date relationship, one party may be a little timid, or one party may not may not feel comfortable setting the tone or carrying the weight.
really?
I
Okay.
mean, what audience? What do you think? Is it am I am I on the deep end here, or what do you
Hey,
think?
when you think about the age bracket, Mr. Carpenter, I'm just like, I'm not really feeling you right there. But if the audience want to chime in and share their thoughts on your comment to help me see it, because I mean, by 30, 40, 50 years old, I really can't see either the man or the woman being too timid when it comes to relationships.
I'll let somebody else say something before I jump in because I've got something that ooh.
Did you do a Surgeon
I
General
think
research?
Well, no, but I lived it.
Oh, okay,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I think maybe what he's trying to say is that, like, not timid, but maybe more so one person will just sit back and let the other one do it because they feel like the other one does it good, the other one does it right, or this is, if I try to do it, I'm not going to do it as well, or they just step in and always just do it. So the because that person is always doing it and things are working out, the other one just sit back and just say, "Oh well, that's what's expected." Or and they don't try to input themselves into, well, okay, this time I can do it. I can help make this happen, or I can do that. They just say, well, he or she'll handle that because
Mhm.
they're accustomed to doing it. I don't know.
And also just to piggyback what me and Annette's saying here, a lot of times when because you say the age thing, Glenda, because you're
Yeah,
talking about that 30 to 50 to 60 years old.
right.
This is a place where sometimes people have been married a couple of times, people have been traumatized, and a lot of people now just don't have their footing. They're so afraid that they're going to mess up. They're so afraid that they're going to be alone. They're so afraid that it's not going to happen the way they want it to happen. A lot of people just sit back and let things happen. You
Okay.
give me that look.
Oh, I forgot you can see me. Okay,
Am
okay.
I the only one? Because wait, I tell you what. How many of us on the line that has friends that are your age or our age and can't figure it out? And you be saying to yourself, I wish I could just pour in this lady's head, this guy's head, something because they don't have it. And now, how many of us have those kind of friends? I know I'm not the only one. I know you're laughing, Linda. You must have those friends too.
Of course.
See, so now, so that's why I say when you said age, you have older people just don't have a clue. You just don't have some of your friends, you be saying, man, what are you doing? I'm a guy, some of my guy friends, I mean, what are you doing, man? Why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? Man, I don't know. Like Scooby-Doo, I don't
Ooh,
know. I'm serious. And you be saying, what in the world? I said, look, man, let me give you some coaching. let me dust you off and send you back out there. You know, and that's what happens. I mean, that's real talk.
okay. You got me. You got me. I can see it.
Yeah, because all of us have friends that way. And even there's times when I'm gonna now say nervous. There's times when I've been in a relationship that I second guess myself.
Mm.
I stayed longer than I should have, and I laid back and I followed instead of leading. And I thought me following was the best thing to get to where I wanted to go.
Right.
Where really it wasn't.
Right. That's understandable.
You shaking your head. You shaking your head like let's move on. No, let's put
No,
the kickstand down
no,
right
no,
here
no,
for a
no,
minute.
no. You have a valid point, especially in the relationships where you stay longer than you should.
Yeah. I mean, have any of us, other than me, been at our age, been in a relationship with somebody, and for some reason it was a chemistry or something, and you just lost your footing, and you just couldn't, you weren't the person you felt you should have been in that situation.
Right. I know I have.
Anybody want to discuss that, share that, or share what it looks like, other than me? Okay, crickets.
I think they just like to hear you talk.
No, no. I mean, I'm serious. There's times when, I even second guess my own self. I get home, I said, me and my dumb whatever. Why did I do that? Man, next time I go with this lady, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And the same old thing happened again. I said, man.
I've noticed that a lot of times when men do what you're referring to, they do that thinking that they're supposed to follow the woman to make her happy. I'm doing whatever it takes to make her happy, but at the same time, um, they're really making themselves miserable, or they're not feeling 100% because you beat yourself up once you get by yourself because you're thinking that you
Yep.
should have did things a little bit differently.
Yeah, on that ride home, I be talking to myself, man, why did you? Goodness, man, we could have it could have been a different night. It could have been a different outcome.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of times when we fail to please the other person, we do ourselves a disservice. You can't always please the other person. That's part of overgiving.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, get along, go along, don't work all the time.
No, it doesn't. Trust me. Like Mr. King said last week, and he said, several times that we've been on Sunday night at 9. The phrase happy wife means happy life, and that's not always true, according to him. And that's from a marriage perspective, but when you think
Mhm.
about in relationships, girlfriend and boyfriend, or just getting to know your partner, that's really not always the case. You can be accommodating, but you can't really do everything to please that one person, because it's a possibility you could be making yourself a little, you're not giving yourself room, and you're giving too much, and the other person, as long as you're giving them what they want, they're going to take it.
Ladies, let me ask the ladies a question. Ladies, when a guy first take you out and you've met this guy, you met him either at let's say you met him at a sports place, you met him
Mhm.
at a shopping center, or you met him at the mall, and you met him and you just talk, you guys just exchange numbers. You don't really have a major conversation because it's not the right place, the right time. But you do spark up a little interest and you exchange numbers. When you first go out with that person, do you feel awkward? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel tense? Or are you all pros? How does this work? Because I know how the guys feel. Ladies.
Come on now.
Well,
Come on.
I'm nervous.
That's all like DG.
I'm very nervous because, times are different now than it was when I was younger, and you really want to know who you got with you, or is this a serial killer, or who this person is, and you just you just don't know
Right.
because the person can present one way and be something totally different.
That's right.
So I'm very nervous, very kind of standoffish, in the conversations about me or what my life is or what I'm doing until I really get to know them. And
Correct.
then I gradually let them in. But if I let you come to my house, then, I value you. But if I
Hmm.
don't, nah, this is not going to last.
Right.
And that's how I feel about it.
And one of the reasons why I asked that question is because those first few visits or first few get together sometimes set the tempo for the rest of the relationship. And you don't get a lot of time you don't get a do-over.
True.
Then that's when I know that that person wasn't for me.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because sometimes a guy will try to, I'm going to say this word, salvage the situation,
Hmm.
especially if he thinks the lady is all of this and in a bag of chips. He's gonna do what it takes to salvage the situation. Let me try a different approach. Let me let me go from this at a different angle because I'm not just throwing in the towel.
But it doesn't always work out either when they put forth the extra effort either.
Yeah, you're right. But sometimes you do.
Sometimes, very rare, but you're right. Sometimes it does.
Okay. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, I'll let you have that one. It's not 100%, but I'll let you have that.
All right.
All right, so we're going to go to some participation questions. So, participants, where do you feel like you're carrying more mentally, emotionally, or physically?
Ooh. Should that be a chat question first, and then after we get it in the chat, or if you ask everybody to put something in the chat, and then we'll talk about it individually. So if you don't mind, can everybody put it in the chat? Where do you feel you're carrying the most? Is it mentally in your past relationships or current relationships, or is it emotionally, or is it physically? And I'll put mine in too. And everybody, if you don't mind, put it in the chat. Where do you feel you're carrying it the most? Normally in your relationships. Oh,
And this is past and present
yes,
relationship.
whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay.
And we're not going to ask you to talk about it per se, but we're going to talk about it as a group. So we're not going to call you out.
So I'm not sure I understand exactly what it means where you're carrying the most. What do you mean carrying the most?
In any relationship you had where you felt that it was one-sided, or you felt that you had a responsibility of the relationship where you contributed more, whether it was physical, you did more physical type stuff, you did more emotional type stuff, or was it mental to make that relationship last, to make it work, to get it over the hump and get it to the next chapter in that relationship? Where do you think you did the majority of the work yourself in it? Because let's say you had a relationship with a person. Let's say, when I think you gave a instance where the where the man would come home and the man would come home and sit in the chair. I think I gave that, or somebody gave that. Man come home and sit in the chair, and the wife would have to do all of the run around in the house and get everything done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was that an emotional drain on that lady, or was that a physical drain on that lady, or was it a mental drain on that lady? And that's what we're talking about. Where do you think it affects you the most? When you're doing more in a relationship than you feel you should, and you're taking the other person, you're taking up where the other person left off at. In any relationship you ever had, or any relationship you witnessed, where was it more? Where was it off balance at? Was it off balance in the mental part that you had to do more, or was it the physical part you had to do more, or was it the emotional part you had to do more? And I think Glenda gave some great examples last week when she said that the PTA meeting, and she said something about you got to remember all the dates and all that stuff. She gave a laundry list of things that a woman would do in a relationship, or one person would do in a relationship. Did it get any clear? Annette, did it get in clear?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, let me put mine in. I'm not a good typer. I don't type fast. Okay, give everybody about 2 more minutes to put everything in, and then we'll discuss it. And we'll say we're not going to actually call your name as we read through this, but we're going to say we got this many of that and this many of that, and we'll talk about them individually. And if you feel you want to comment, you can, but you're not required to. But if you want to share your comments, that would be great. Okay, 1 more minute, and then Glenda, we can read what we got in there. And we're not calling names. We're just going to say what it was.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, we're about up. Anytime you're ready, Glenda.
Okay, so in the chat we have mental, we have mental and emotional. Someone use both of them.
Okay, that's possible.
And then someone else said a little bit of, I think they were trying to say a little bit of both.
Okay, that's
And
possible.
then I see emotionally. And then for myself, I use when I was married, I felt like it was more physical. And then when I was single and dating, it was more emotional.
Now mine, and when I was married, mine was more mental. And
Okay.
I put as single, it's more emotional. I put because I'm single now. That's why I
Okay.
put emotional in there. But when I was married, mine was more mental,
Okay.
because mine, as a married, I had to think about everything. I couldn't let nothing down. I couldn't let nothing fall. I had to think through it all. I had to think, how everybody talking about a 5-year plan, or this, or what
Right,
you're gonna do
right,
this
right,
right here.
right.
I had to think it all. I had to do all of the thinking, and it was rough. It was rough
Right.
because when I missed something, it was like, wow.
You dropped the
So that
ball.
was the married part. Now single, it's more emotional, because single is like it's head games for me, but it's more of an emotional toll on my heart. My little feelings get hurt. You know how people say I'm in my feelings.
Yeah. Yes.
And my problem is I can't hold nothing. And when I get emotionally hurt, or that emotional baggage get to be too much, and I be trying not to say that, I'm not gonna say a word. I'm just gonna eat. I'm just gonna hold it. I look at that lady, and I just I gotta let it all go. Hey, what can I say? All right.
Okay.
Anybody else want to share? You want to share some more, Glenda, or anybody want to share?
No, there's nothing else in the chat.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I put for me, I was thinking about at a time when I was married,
Okay.
and that's why I could say mental and emotional, because I think for me it was that we were so at hindsight, looking at it now, we were so equally matched. We weren't matched.
Right.
And in our relationship, I think I took more of the role of the man, as far as, or more of the providing type role. I made sure this was done or that was done, and I made sure the money was there for this or the money was there for that, or carrying it. And to me, it began to be straining. It strained me truly mentally, but also emotionally, because I lost feelings. I didn't have it messed with my feelings too, because I felt like, hold up, I can't be loving to this person, and I'm doing all of this. Wait a minute, I just think that for me it was mental and emotional. I'm sorry.
And that was a perfect example of how it is. You hit the nail on the head, because a lot of times when you're mentally drained and you just can't go any further, then that's when the emotions kick in, and then when you get emotionally drained, you're ready to give it up. Yeah, it's a done deal. It's nothing this person can do to come back. It's a wrap. All you do is waiting on time before this thing break up. It's hard to come back from that.
It is. Yeah, those one-sided relationships.
I saw something in the
Extreme.
chat. Something go across the chat when she was talking. What was
No,
that?
that is, someone put in the chat, is one-sided relationship. It's one-sided.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
So we're going to utilize the chat for the next question as well. What do you keep hoping they'll notice without you saying it? So
Oh, that's a
when
tricky
you think
question.
on when you think on the previous question, this is like, we're gonna build on it. What do you keep hoping, or what was you hoping that they would notice about the mental part, the physical part, or the emotional part, without you having to say something about it?
Yeah. Will they take their blinders off and see, or will they ignore it?
Right.
I got it. I got it now. I got it.
So we're gonna put a comment. We're gonna utilize the chat and put a comment in the chat. We're gonna give you a couple of minutes for
Okay.
that. What do you keep hoping, or what did you keep hoping they would notice without you saying it? How's everybody doing with that time change?
I'm not doing good. I got up too early this morning.
Trying to get through. That's about it. Just trying to get through.
You have a few months for an adjustment, because it's not going nowhere.
For real.
All right. Give you one more minute just for those slow typers.
Okay. Yeah, my
Did anyone want to come off mute and say what their comment is in the chat?
I'll start us off.
Okay, no
Somebody
problem.
else, somebody else was gonna start off. Go ahead. Who else that was? Go ahead.
I
I
didn't hear
heard somebody
anybody.
else say something.
I didn't hear anybody else.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mine was I hope that they would notice that I'm all in at this point, and it's clear that I'm all in. I'm drained, and I'm at the tipping point. And when I say the tipping point, that either it's going to get better or I'm going to shut down. I'm going to shut down, or something's going to change. Whether
Mm,
it's a marriage or whether it's a relationship, dating. Now, in a marriage, I'm at a tipping point. We would have to get outside counseling, or we had to do something to get it right. If I'm dating, then I would look at the value of the person I'm dating. What should would I go on? Because apparently this person isn't noticing. So this person really isn't paying attention to me, isn't valuing my input. So then I would ask myself that this person has the ability or the desire to do more or do better.
hmm
So that was what mine would be.
All right. I seen a chat where my exhaustion of what was happening with our status.
Oh, you know what? That's interesting. Okay, because can I talk about that for a minute?
Go right ahead.
And I noticed something in a relationship. I think this is one relationship I was in. The lady wanted us to be bougie and more than what we really was.
Okay.
And it drained my pocketbook a little bit, and it also emotionally drained me because trying to put up this facade or trying to do more than what we really were, it was uncomfortable. It
hmm
didn't feel right, and we were spending more time trying to look good for other people that we weren't loving each other. So that was, and I was a younger person then, so that was really, if I was where I was at today, I'd have cut that in the bud right quick. But me thinking that something on the back end is gonna be in my favor, I stayed in it a lot longer than I should have. Let's put it this way: it wasn't worth the prize at the end of the rainbow.
Okay, I get it. Okay, for the ones that are just joining in, I just want to do a small recap. We asked that you put in the chat, what do you keep hoping they'll notice without you saying it? We're still talking about resentment building from last week because tonight is part two. Our first question for the chat was, where do you feel like you're carrying more, mentally, emotionally, or physically? And now the second question again is, what do you keep hoping they'll notice without you saying it? Mr. Carpenter said they would notice that I am all in to the point that it is clear I'm drained and at a tipping point. All right, someone just put in the chat, hope they'll notice I'm really broke. I'm, 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 I'm with Mr. Carpenter. It's expensive being bougie. It sure is. You right about that. You are right about that. Don't look. I was told by one of my friends, date what you can afford. So you trying to keep up with the Joneses and the Smiths, you need to cut that out because you might not can afford it. So you're absolutely right about that, sir. Yes. You hoping that they
Say, Glenda, when
notice
you
that
said
you're
date what
broke.
you can afford, Glenda, and see, when you said date what you can afford, it becomes a date. That's where the dating game comes from.
Mm.
Because when I've got to put my feelings based on my wallet, I don't think that's going to be good.
Well, I won't say the person who told me because it's somebody that I don't think has been online, but I deal with them. We're real good friends, and she told me that. And when she said she took me off guard, I was like, "Hey, you serious about this?" And when she said, "Really?" Because she's not a cheap date. She's not the type of person that you're going to take her to McDonald's, Starbucks, or even Maggiano's, the Italian place. She no, she because she's a high value woman and she wants to be treated as such. So, I mean, I get what she's saying, but all women aren't like that. Some women don't mind going to Starbucks. Some women don't mind going to the Cheesecake Factory, Red Lobster or Old Charlie's, but this particular lady, she's upscale. And then was, how you say practice what you preach. She lives the life. So anybody that connects with her and knows that she don't have a problem traveling to Italy, Europe, out of the country, I mean, multiple times throughout the year. When you're dating someone and you know that the person that you're interested in, they're about that life, you need to take that into consideration when you want to hit your wagon up to them. Like, okay, so if she's already doing this, can I, will I be able to flip the next trip, or can I afford the next trip if she decides to go with me, or, the opportunity presents itself. But if you can't afford to go to Italy or Europe, that might not be the woman or the man for you.
In the chat, there's some interesting stuff in the chat. But before we get to the chat, here's one thing I want to get to, and then we'll go straight to the chat because some interesting stuff. Yeah. That's, when you say dating game, and that's why whenever people say dating game, I totally agree it's a game. Because, love ain't got nothing to do with
it. Sometimes it does.
Because when you talk like we're talking now, we're talking transitional, we're talking transactional. We're not talking about relationship. We're talking about finances. It sounds like more of a merger in a relationship.
Well, you can't want to date someone. I'm talking about literally go out on a date, go to a place, a location, hang out, and not have to spend some type of money.
I'm not saying not spend money. Maybe I quoted wrong. I'm not saying not spend money. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, maybe I'm old fashioned. Maybe I look at too much TV or listen to too many records or songs. Because to me, the heart picks, not the pocketbook.
Not anymore.
What'd you say?
Gigi said not anymore. Oh. Let's go to the chat now because I had to get that in there because maybe my time has passed.
Not at this day and age, sir. Grown folks are thinking differently because nowadays, when men take you out, they looking for some goodies at the end of the night, and they only took you to Burger King. It's like, wow, I didn't even get cheese on the burger. You want what? No.
So that's what y'all get. Y'all ain't selling it, but it ain't free.
That's right. That's right. And I had a mechanic tell me his mom told her granddaughter, his daughter, look, baby, we ain't selling it, but it ain't free. And I said, oh, wow, grandma told the baby that? He said, yes, she did.
But now let's talk about what's in the chat because the chat has some great stuff in it. And I think it's talking about Atlanta area.
Okay, well, someone put in the chat, that's a powerful date what you can afford. Thank you. I'll let her know that. Someone else put in the chat, let's say, I think a lot of people in Atlanta want more than they can offer. I believe that. I don't think it's just isolated to Atlanta. I think it's relationships, period. I think it's worldwide because I think it's going on all over.
But let's stay with on that for a minute, and because I think Gigi said I agree with her. Who's her you agree with?
The date what you can afford, is that what you're talking about? You agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's in with Andre's. Okay, Andre got people want more than they can offer. Because think about this. How many people are looking to date up and thinking that, hey, look, I'm gonna latch on to this one. And I'm not going to gold digger. I'm not trying to go straight to gold digger. I'm not saying that. I'm not coming out the gate that way. But what I'm saying is, are you dating to come up? So that bothers me. And if you is it now where the man has to be the one that makes the most money, or being able to spend the most, or can give the most, or what is it?
I think it's depending on the person's preference. Someone want to comment on it?
I I don't think it's so much as a person dating to come up. Um, in my experience, I've never had a problem with men with money because they kind of gravitate to me. But the problem that I had with them was loyalty and disturbing my peace. So whether they make minimum wage or whatever, if you disturb my peace or you're not loyal to me, that's a problem.
Right.
So it's not so much as dating up or down. It's the person themselves because you can have $1 million and be a jerk.
Yes.
I admire what Gigi said then, because that's what I was talking about. That let the heart pick. Let the moment flow,
Right.
not cha-ching.
Right. Now, Andre, someone put in the chat. Everyone they meet, they're looking to date up, and they're confused. He's like, "Hello." They go straight to saying they need a bill paid. Let me wait a minute before you say something, Mr. Carpenter. I remember someone said on the line that they probably know who they are. When somebody show you who they are, believe them. So when someone start out the gate telling you they need a bill paid when you first meet them, when you feel like they're looking to date up or within the first 6 months, that's your sign right there. You can cut it off right then and there. It don't have to go no further. It's not even a second date, or not even a second conversation. That person doesn't have your best interests at heart. That person, they have a hidden agenda, and that's your pockets. They trying to hit your pocket.
But a lot of people lead with their finances. A lot of people, that's their game.
That
Not a lot of people, but some people, that's their game.
and that's their fault. Because I know a friend that led with her finances, and she got hit hard, and she was crying the blues afterwards. But I told her don't do that no more because she pretty much set herself up for that. Because some men and women, they can see your weak point, especially when you lead off like that, because they think, oh, they talking about it, they must have it like that. And that's not always the case. Some people give too much information up front, right out the gate. No, this is a getting to know period. It's not,
You said something there. Too much information up front.
yes, yes. And I told her that. Sometimes you just need to listen out for stuff. Even if somebody talk about their finances, you can look, yeah, I work. Yeah, yep, I work at the hospital. You ain't really got to tell them, because like when people ask me what I do or where I work, I tell them I'm in healthcare. They say, well, what do you do? I say, I push papers. Oh, you in administration? Man, I just push paper. I just do what they tell me to do. I don't go into details and tell them my actual title at my job, but I let them know I'm in healthcare because there during the get to know period, if you give too much information, people start, calculating things, spending. Oh, you got a good job. You an executive? Oh shoot, I know you get them bonuses. They be ready to put some on layaway, have a Coach bag, a Ralph Lauren jacket already on layaway, ready for you to get it up. No, ma'am, no, sir, we're not gonna do that. I don't tell you too much of anything. I even pull back telling my personal business to my family.
Family can be takers too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and and this, I guess this is a good place to come off to talk about the tool, and then we'll go right back to the chat.
Go
But
ahead.
the tool for the night was Glenda was kind of hitting it. And the tool for the night is the resentment pause. And the resentment pause is simply just before you do more, before you give more, before you explain more, you pause and you ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to? Or am I doing this because I feel the responsibility to do it? If not, if I don't do this, what am I afraid will happen? What would support look like right now in the situation? Because Glenda was saying that she would pull back and wouldn't tell them. Right. And she's pretty much got it rehearsed on how she handled that. But if you don't have it rehearsed and you think you're giving too much, whether it's emotional, physical, or whether it's mental, take this pause. And the tool, it's a simple tool. The simple tool is called resentment pause. And you just pause. Before you do more, before you give more, before you explain more, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to? Or am I doing this because I feel like it's my responsibility, or I feel responsible to do it? And then if I don't do it, what's going to happen? What am I afraid going to happen if I don't do it? And that's very, very important, because if you don't put that pause there, you're going to find yourself getting caught up. You're going to find yourself being a paymaster, or you're going to find yourself doing some physical things you really don't want to do.
Correct.
Or you're gonna find some trauma for real. And what does it say? What's the chat say? A lot of people try to guilt you into. Oh yes,
yeah.
A lot of people try to guilt you into something.
Right.
And that's where the resentment pause really come in handy. That's where it really come in handy. Now we can go back to the chat. But I just had to get that in there. That tool was in there because it was still early, so I got it in there. Just say no.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Just say no. But sometimes, and here's sometimes no ain't easy though. Gigi, sometimes no ain't easy, Gigi.
It depends on
when. It's real easy for me. It's real easy.
Sometimes no ain't easy. I guess men have problems saying no quicker than a woman do. Because a man. What now? Go ahead.
I had men for babysitters, so I gleaned a lot of what I do from them, and the bottom line was what they told me was, you don't give men money, men give you money. You got everything they need.
And see, that's why I'm saying it's hard for men. It's harder for a man to say no sometimes, because if a man gonna say no, it was a hard stop. He's got that. I'm sorry, but sometimes let's put it this way: sometimes that hard stop may be a little more than stop than you want. Go ahead, Glenda.
You laughing too much.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Kingdom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I was being silent tonight, but that comment she just made about men give women money, women don't give men money. Do she really believe in that?
I'm sure
if I'm in a committed relationship, there's a big difference from dating and a committed relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by committed, we're about to jump the broom.
Okay.
It's very different. But as for dating, no, sir. I'm sorry. But then I'm not sorry.
So in other words, when y'all dating, getting to know each other, every date y'all go on, he's got to pay.
Yeah.
I don't think she said that. I don't think she said that completely.
Yeah, I think you answered the question.
A lot of dates is not necessarily dates where we have to go and buy things. I mean, a walk in the park, or go get an ice cream or a coffee or something like that. I mean, it's not so much as the money part of it. It's the fact of the matter that I was brought up. I'm the prize. I'm it. This is what you want. You trying to find out if I want you.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. You say you the prize.
Yes, sir, I am.
I don't
You have
understand
to,
that.
but you have to
I don't understand that.
understand. I am very. I don't have self-esteem issues. Uh, that's not my problem. And I feel like if I'm dating a man, then I'm what he wants. We're getting to know each other. So, I mean, what are we going to do? What are we doing?
You live in New York or Atlanta or somewhere or Florida?
No,
No,
I
no, no.
live
I'm
somewhere.
being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic.
Listen, I
Because
am a world traveler, so I have been
no,
in
no,
several cities
no,
and
no,
I've
no, no. I
dated
was being
different people.
sarcastic. I was being
Were you?
sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Being sarcastic mean those big cities that I'm very aware of has a hell of a lot of one-way streets.
It does. It
You
does.
funny.
You
It
understand? Some
does. And
one-way
I try
streets.
not to go down them.
Exactly. So why would you put it one way in a relationship?
Well, that's
You
just who
said
I
you the
am.
prize, but yet and still to make a prize whole, you got to have somebody else to come and be involved in it.
It
Because
ain't
you
gonna
can't
be my
you
money.
can't keep you
It's
can't
not
be
gonna
the
be
prize for
mine.
yourself all the time.
It's not gonna be my money.
It ain't about money, baby. You said you was the prize.
I am. I feel that.
Then what is he? What is he?
Hey, he's the one. He's the one trying to get the prize.
He's trying
He's
to get
trying to
it.
get a
He's the
prize,
chaser.
but yet and still, she's
Chaser.
also trying to get a prize. It's a joint venture.
Listen, Kato, you are
It's a
not
joint
gonna get me to
venture.
give in. I am the prize, honey. I am the prize.
Okay,
Period.
we all grown folks right now. We all grown folks. I'm just gonna make a statement.
Uh-oh.
I never lived a life where I go and pay to play. You understand? I never was that one. And the reason being is, why am I playing you? And you're satisfied just as much as I am.
I think, Mr. Kingdom. I think. Wait a minute now. Hold up now.
So it's basically the same. No,
No,
no, the
hold
principle is
up.
the same. The
No,
principle is
hold
the
up.
same.
Hold up. Hold up.
It's a one-way street.
Yeah, but think about it. Think about what you said earlier and what she said. You said you ain't gonna pay. Now your pay may not be a transaction. Hey, I'm giving you this, you give me that. Your pay may be saying, hey, we go out, every time we go out, I pay, whether we're going to the movies, whether we're going, whatever we're doing, I'm financing it. So it's not a transactional pay sometimes because I'm a man and I know a lot of times, I say I'm not going to pay, but I know when I get back, I see how my funds go lower and lower and lower and lower each time I go out. So am I paying or am I not paying?
You paying.
You can,
Are
but
you
still,
are you
that's what I'm
getting
trying to
what you
get you to
want? Right.
see. It's a joint
Yeah,
venture because
yeah.
if you keep paying and your money depleting, sooner or later you're gonna be out the door because you ain't gonna have no money to pay no more.
Money replenishes itself, son.
It depends.
Money
It
You go back
replenishes.
depends.
out when you get paid again.
It depends.
Yep, yep.
Go ahead.
No,
It
you good.
depends. Hey Rufus,
Yes, sir.
I'm finna come on camera for a second. I want you to see something.
Okay.
Say hey.
Hey.
Hey, how you say, little man? How you doing?
This Nathaniel, y'all. This is my son. He's
Hey, how
9
you
Hi,
years
doing,
old. His
man?
birthday
Nathaniel.
was February the 3rd.
Happy
Awesome.
birthday.
Happy
I got him
belated
for the week.
birthday.
Happy belated
Awesome. Let's go.
birthday.
Congratulations, Pop.
Hello, Nathaniel.
Yeah, he come in the kitchen. I'm in the
Uh,
kitchen. We've been out visiting friends from bike week because I didn't go. I decided not to go. So I'm fixing us a chicken salad with fries.
All right.
they must not go to school tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got school, but I'm keeping him out. All I got to do is put him on the computer for an hour
Oh,
for
okay.
1 full hour, and that'll cover the week.
Okay. All right. I was
With the
making sure.
homework.
I was
Don't
making
trust
sure
me,
because we
dude.
want to do
I'm
things.
on point with him getting schooling now.
All right. We want to do things proper.
Now, Rufus, you know me, I'm gonna do it the right way because I ain't going to sit in a cell.
You know me when it comes to children. I want to confirm.
And you know how I am about kids too. You, of all people, know how I am about kids.
All right, Glenda, I think it's time to start bringing this one in. Well, first, does anybody have any comments or anything we talked about tonight that's unclear or anything they want to share before we start turning this down? Okay.
No more comments. As always, I love that you guys sacrifice your Sunday nights and come and join us at 9 o'clock. I know that some of us have to go to work tomorrow, but I know that Sunday nights at 9 is a huge sacrifice for each and every one of us. So your participation is greatly appreciated. So as we end tonight, I'm so sorry. Um, as we close tonight, I want you to remember something important. Resentment isn't a sign that you're difficult or ungrateful, it's information. It's your mind and body telling you that something has been out of balance for a while. The goal tonight wasn't to fix everything, the goal was simply to notice. Notice where you're carrying too much. Notice where support might be missing. Notice where your needs deserve more attention. Small awareness leads to small shifts, and small shifts can change everything over time. So this week, give yourself one pause before you overgive. And remember, you don't have to carry everything alone. Thank you for being here with me tonight. I'll see you next Sunday night at 9.
Good night.
Night,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone. See you next
Good
week.
night. I will see you next Sunday night,
Thank
All
Oh,
right.
you.
9 p.m.
Bye bye.